But yeah, so party-wise, I mean, obviously I saw this on Twitter, and I think this would be really cool to get all three of our opinions on this. It was the question, what party scene in a movie would you most want to attend? And my brain just immediately went a million miles an hour. And let me just say this up front. I know this is probably number one on your list, Ted. Animal House, that is not a party you want to go to.
No, but I mean that is one or two on my list. You're right.
Do you want to give me some?
Well, I got old movie references here. You won't even know what the movies are.
I've seen them. Do you want to?
Well, why don't you give me yours, and I'll see how many of mine are on your list.
First off, honorable mention: the Superbad party. That Jonah Hill. And
that's on my
Michael
list.
Cera.
That's a great party.
That's just a great party. Just a bunch of high schoolers. Got to respect the hustle they had to try to get the alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
But number one on my list, definitely Project X Party. Have you seen that movie? Matt, have you seen that movie?
I have, yeah. That's pretty good.
That's got to be very high on your list. Am I wrong?
It was. I definitely have that written down. It's not number one, but it's up there.
Project X Party?
It's like you got to see the movie. That's
okay,
I can't describe it. It was like 1,000. It was like based on a true story, but it was like 1,000 kids. Cops were like called, like had to get shut down. Like I'm pretty sure like smoke gas, like gas was like.
Was it outdoors or was it a?
It was like in like a neighborhood.
Oh wow!
Like a ton of damage. Like there was like a helicopter like covering it. It was crazy, but. I'll go through my top three.
Some parties that I went to in East Lansing in the college days.
That would just be incredible.
Burn the couches, baby.
Yeah. So this would be a classic one. Old school, the mud wrestling party, where unfortunately my boy Blue dies. But just,
by the way, Jared, it wasn't mud wrestling. It was KY jelly wrestling.
What's KY jelly?
Oh my!
Why is that? Is that what I think?
I'll tell you after the pod.
Okay. KY.
Your mom listens. I have to watch out.
So that must have been. Is that on your list then, Matt, or did you just know that from Art?
That's number one on my list.
Old school.
Both of those parties on Old School. The one where Snoop Dogg shows up, Snoop-a-Loop,
I forgot about
hat.
that.
Yeah, Old School's on my list too.
I mean, you give
Frank
me a party
the Tank's awesome.
with Vince Vaughn and Will Ferrell, and Frank the Tank. That's just those two guys. I could sit in a bar with those two guys, and that'd be probably number two on my list.
Absolutely.
The funny thing about that is the KY Jelly wrestling story. So I was in college back in my day. When I was in college, I went down to Michigan this one weekend, and we found out that there was a party. It was at this huge house. I mean, it's in Ann Arbor, huge house. And in the basement, they were going to try and do that. They were going to replicate the Old School party. So me and my friends were like, we got to go. We're going to this thing. They ended up turning it into a pudding wrestling pit.
That'd be incredible.
That'd be awesome.
Full of chocolate pudding. And I don't know if you've ever been to Ann Arbor, the houses, where all the college kids live.
Oh, yeah.
Old houses. It was in the basement. So it's like a classic Michigan basement. It's hot. There's probably like 200 kids down there. It's hot. It's nasty. There's pudding going everywhere. It was disgusting, but for a college party, it was amazing.
Epic.
Yes.
This is a third one. I at first thought this was gonna be my number one, but then I kind of really thought about it. But like the Great Gatsby, like those parties.
So that's kind of
not the 1938.
No, I know,
parties,
I know
but
what
the new
you're
one.
talking
But and it's just like. It's almost like the pageantry behind that. It's like the Masters coming in April. Just where the whole pageantry behind it, getting dressed up, going I think it's every like Friday night or Saturday night or whatever it is in the movie. And just like, you don't know who runs it, the Gatsby. But the only downside to that is like the girls are like, they're good looking, but it's like the 1900s hot. You know what I mean? Like it's not quite what you want to see.
Weren't they wearing long dresses and long
like
sleeves and all that stuff?
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, since you're throwing that kind of party in there, I do have a couple on my list. You saw The Godfather. I'm talking about a couple weddings, wedding parties. In The Godfather, there was one. That was a 1972 flick. And The Deer Hunter. You got to see The Deer Hunter someday. There was another great wedding scene in that one as well.
What the heck is
Deer Hunter? Was good. I didn't even think about that. There was a good wedding scene in that movie.
Oh, Jared, put that on your list to watch. It still holds up. It was a movie in the Vietnam era, and I won't tell you a lot about it, but it's
bring back some memories.
A little bit. Fantastic movie though, and it had quite a twist with the Vietnam twist to it. So check that out. Here's one. You guys will appreciate this one. This kind of reminded me of my younger days. Dazed and Confused. Did you ever see that movie?
Is that Matthew McConaughey?
All right. It sure was. And it was in our day in Corunna. We all went to Corunna, right? Did you guys ever go to an outdoor in the woods party?
Oh yeah.
Like a
Oh,
keg?
no.
I've gone to
Yeah.
like a bonfire. I wouldn't
Like a
say-
bonfire,
yeah.
okay. Yeah, well, that
Yeah.
Dazed and Confused had a classic party scene out in the woods than that one.
Classic line from that movie.
Yeah,
High school girls. I get older, they stay the same age. That is their same movie, right? That
that's
is
the
a great-
same movie,
That's
Matthew.
a great quote.
Yeah.
But what was the first one you mentioned? Not Deer Hunter. What was Oh,
Godfather.
The Godfather. Yeah,
Godfather
I
wedding.
agree with that. That would be a strong party, but it's kind of like it's not really. It's a wedding.
It's
I
but it's a
mean,
wedding party. I kind of tied them in together, And okay, Great Gatsby is kind of the same thing. It wasn't like a wild party, was it?
Have you seen the movie or no?
Is that the one with DiCaprio?
Yeah.
Yeah, DiCaprio.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty wild. There's like 1 million people there. Just in a mansion.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Yeah,
But-
that'd probably be cool. Keeping on DiCaprio, he's one of my favorite actors. But any party that was on Wolf of Wall Street, I think, would have been amazing.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that's a good one.
That whole movie is just insane. So we'll just call it that whole movie.
Dang it, that was a good one.
Yeah, I got to see that movie. I still haven't seen it to this day.
It's
It's
pretty
it's a
eye-opening
great movie.
stuff.
I
It's
mean,
a great
like I said,
movie.
I'm biased. DiCaprio is one of my favorite, but I mean, it is such a good movie.
Here's 3 of them for you guys. 1984. Your dad, Jared, would appreciate this. 84, Revenge of the Nerds came out. Did you ever see that one?
Actually, I have seen that one. When I was like 5th grade, I remember watching
they,
that one.
they had a pretty good party in that one. 16 Candles. Did you ever see that one?
No, I haven't.
That was a classic movie. And then one of Tom Hanks' first movies he was ever in, Bachelor Party. And you can well imagine about that.
Yeah.
The key scene in that one was a donkey snorting cocaine. That's
Yep.
part of the shenanigans at that party. And then what about more recent, The Hangover?
Yeah, I think that's top 5 in all of our list almost.
Yeah. Well, that's all I have. You guys got any other ones?
Yeah, another one I was going to throw out that, I don't know, it's one of my favorite movies, just like from like my college age or, whatever. American Pie 2, at the end when they have the huge party at their house on the beach, just because, that movie is supposed to be set in Michigan and it's supposed to be like it's in Grand Haven. So I always thought that scene was really cool. But, beach parties are always a blast. So that
Basically,
was one. And then 21 Jump Street. I don't know if you guys have seen 21 Jump Street.
yeah.
But
Yep.
Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum, they have a party at one of their parents' house, and they're trying to figure out who sells the drugs or whatever. But they throw a pretty huge party. Jonah Hill gets stabbed with a knife.
Yeah,
That's another one I thought of.
that's great because that cracks me up because Channing Tatum, he's like before like they're playing the music, he's like, "Do you think this music's like too dancey?" Like that's just a
Right.
classic. No, but you mentioned American Pie. Basically, any American Pie movie, I would say honestly, like nuts and bolts, I think we would all probably choose.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
But-
those movies are underrated. All the party scenes in those movies are great.
And I mean, this is my favorite one. I had this on my list at number 4, American Pie, the Naked Mile Party. I mean, what I love about those movies is basically every single girl is like super good looking.
You're right.
And I mean, they're all naked and you're running a mile. That's obviously just got to be like at the top of the list. You actually surprised. You had some good ones that you mentioned. I'll give it to you, Ted. They weren't all over my head.
And check out a couple of them. You haven't seen Dazed and Confused, have you? Well, you did see it.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Okay, all right. Deer Hunter, though, for
I'll
a
check
movie
that out.
recommendation for you.
One other one I wrote down that was a classic, maybe Boogie Nights.
Oh, yes.
Good party. There was
Oh
some
my
good,
God,
some good
that is a
party
good one,
scenes in
too.
that movie.
Yeah, definitely. That movie takes a while. I remember watching that when I was in like 6th grade. Probably shouldn't have been.
Probably should not have been.
That movie blew my mind. That was crazy.
The porn industry in the 70s. 6th grader Jared Fattel.
They're ridiculous.
Watching it just late at night on
No wo-
demand, HBO.
No wonder your dad got rid of the HBO.
No, that's exactly why he saw that I was watching it. He saw it in the history. I forgot to delete it, and it was canceled. The subscription was canceled.
Well, that's just a rookie move on your part. You always have to delete the history.
It was
yeah.
a blunder for sure.
Yeah.
and I've regretted it ever since.
Messed up.